my name's Oren Prunken and we're here for the final pitch night for Venture Dorm and the graduating ceremony. I've only just got the run sheet before, and in this very room, I'm only doing the introduction I'm handing to Verity in one moment, who I will introduce. But this very room about 6 years ago, I'm not sure if the Perrys were here when it happened. I'm handballing to Verity in a moment to do the welcome to country, because I did it here about 6 years ago. And I was tired like today. I'm exhausted today. That's right at the end. But this was an event on the weekend, and I was completely exhausted. And I got shoved a run sheet in front of me. And on the run sheet had the welcome to country. And I hadn't memorized it, so I started to read it off there. And as I was reading, I mispronounced Ghana. And guess what I said? I said it phonetically. I said Karuna. And I kept going, and no one called me out in this whole place. This very room was packed out. And I went and I did it again the next night, and I read it out again. And no one called me out on it until the very end of the entire event, when we had networking, which we'll have at the end tonight. Someone came up to me and they're like, "You mispronounced it." I was like, "What are you talking about?" And they told me how I said it phonetically. So I'm not going to do it again today. I'm actually going to handball to Verity. So Verity Kingsmill is the director for New Venture Institute. She's going to go through the welcome to country and all of the admin type stuff. Then she'll hand it back to me. I'll introduce our judging panel, and then one by one, all of the pictures that are going to be happening tonight. Without further ado, make a warm welcome for Verity.
Thanks, Oren, and thank you. And fantastic to have everyone in the room here and also those online. I think the camera I'm looking at is one up there. We do have people joining online watching this live. We also, I know, have people who are pitching from interstate, and it is great to have everyone here. I would like to acknowledge the lands on which we meet, which are the lands of the Ghana people. Now I'm questioning myself, it's the lands of the Ghana people. We understand their spiritual connection with these lands, and we pay respect to their leaders, past, present and emerging. As Oren said, my name's Verity. I'm the acting director here at the New Venture Institute at Flinders University. It is great when I get to come and do events like this and get to hear what people have been working on. And can I just say, from behalf of the New Venture Institute and the whole team, there is a particular program that every single member of the team loves being part of and loves getting to this point and that's Venture Dorm. Because you in the room and those online are the people that we're on about, is those people who have ideas, who want to see them to fruition, who we want to stand alongside and help you achieve what you're setting out to achieve. So thank you for taking on the challenge, for setting yourselves apart, tonight for actually standing up in front of the room here and everyone else online as well, and sharing what you're pitching us, okay? Do not feel anxious about the fact that we are judging you. That sounded very, we're judging you. That we'll be considering your pitch and evaluating that. This is also a chance for you to practice that. And there's a little bit of competition on the side as well. We have some great prizes for our Venture Dorm participants tonight, and there will be a winner. I'm just going to check. Kat, have you shared what our winning prize is?
I haven't shared, but I've slotted it in there as you go.
Okay, that's all right. We will let you wait for the surprise for those who may not be yet aware. Just a couple of housekeeping things for those that are in the room. For those online, I'll let you look after your own housekeeping. If there is is it beep, beep and whoop, whoop? If it's a beep, beep, that means there might be an issue in the building, which we need to be aware of, that we may need to evacuate. We won't need to evacuate until we hear the whoop, whoop. If you need to use the facilities, both the exits here and there are bathrooms at the far end of this building here. They're just behind the lifts, really. Both exits, there's a little walkway you can get to these doors rather than having to walk down the front. Look, I'm not going to take much time here. It is actually really about hearing you pitch, and I'm going to hand back over to Oren in a moment, who will also welcome our judges, who I'm really excited having as part of the Venture Dorm evaluation tonight. Thank you so much. And mentors that are in the room, those that are online as well, for everyone who's been supporting the program, thank you so much for your support of the program. Without your valuable contribution, it makes this program really hard, because we actually really value the input of people walking alongside our participants and helping them further expand their experiences and their ideas to fruition. I do want to particularly note that Bert, who has been delivering this program this year, has been stuck on that infamous border between South Australia and Victoria, and has been eagerly wanting to be here in person, and yet still is caught on that Victorian side of the border. He is so committed to Venture Dorm. It's his brainchild. He loves hearing the pitches. And Bert, I just want to say thank you so much for your continued commitment to Venture Dorm. And I'm looking forward to seeing where you have got these participants from 8 weeks ago in collaboration with Oren in getting to pitch today. So I'm going to hand back to Oren. I'm looking forward to meeting everybody after the event and having a drink out in the foyer and something to eat. Thanks, Oren.
Give a round of applause. On my right, on your left, is Tyson Gerdeson. He is the CEO of Bureau Booths. They create acoustic booths that are enjoyed by companies worldwide. Welcome. Thanks for being on the panel. Emily Hilda, some of you may know her, most of you do not. She's from Human Brands, a local marketing and branding consultancy, which is operating just out of level 2 up here. A wealth of experience and knowledge as well, so welcome, Emily. And then finally we have, who you've already met, we have Verity Kingsmill, and that's your judging panel for tonight. Don't worry, we are all being judged at all times, and most of the times it's good, sometimes it's bad, and very few of the times it's ugly, but tonight you will all do a fantastic job. We have 9 pitches that will go for 5 minutes, with about 5 minutes Q&A from our judges. It's 10 minutes per pitch, 10 times 9, 90 minutes, 1.5 hours this is going to take. I'm not sure what the time is now, but we're going to try to, have I done my maths right? Everyone's looking at me like, no. 1.5 hours, 7:30 we're going to finish. They're going to retire to do their judging and tell who's the best out of all of the good ones. And then at that time, we'll have some time to network with each other. They'll come back, do the graduation, hand out certificates, and then finally the prize, the infamous prize that is going to be revealed. And then at about 8:30, you'll still have a bit of time, half an hour to hang out, have some drinks and food as well. Without further ado, I'd like to introduce Nikki Salono from Blitzen. Please make her welcome with your hands clapping together.
Can everyone hear me? Great. Oh, I need the...
Oh.
Is this it here?
Yes.
Hello, I'm Nikki. Have you ever simply just thought of something, like where to go for your next holiday, and then moments later had an ad appear on your screen for a family resort deal? That's because advertisers know more about you than you may think. They know the city you live in, your age, your gender, what your interests are. And they know that recently you searched for current COVID restrictions in Queensland, showing a possible intent to travel there for an upcoming holiday. Advertisers pay for these relevant ads to be targeted and delivered to you through a highly automated exchange of your data, which currently you have limited control over. The importance of data protection has never been as prevalent as today, with policymakers from all over the world recognising the need to set appropriate legislation on how your personal data can be used by other parties. In 2018, the European Union passed the General Data Protection Regulation, which is the toughest privacy and security law in the world, and many other nations have followed suit. These new laws have had a huge impact on how ad servers and advertisers can use your data, with many of the big players being caught and issued with significant fines. Third-party data is becoming more and more clandestine, and few want to touch it. Two of the largest internet browsers, Chrome and Safari, have made a commitment to abolish third-party cookies by 2022. This is the shortcode that tracks your browser journey, identifies patterns in your behaviour, and enables highly targeted ad delivery at precision points throughout your online activity. Now more than ever, brands need to consider novel and effective marketing strategies to ensure their return on investment is met. So what's the solution? How can businesses engage with their target audiences in a meaningful way that drives brand awareness and sales? Enter Blitzen, an innovative loyalty and payments platform that rewards consumers for their engagement with partner brands and retailers online and in the real world. Using blockchain technology to tokenize and record data transactions in a secure and transparent process, Blitzen monetizes your data, turning it into an asset that enables you to take a share from a global market worth hundreds of billions of dollars, whilst providing advertisers with access to consensual customer data to achieve their desired outcomes. So how innovative can a loyalty platform be? There are literally thousands in the market all over the globe, some using blockchain technology. Blitzen is the only platform that provides consumers with irrevocable blockchain tokens as reward points through purchasing and advertising engagement, whilst enabling control over their data in the process. Blitzen drives sales to online and bricks and mortar stores, and advertisers can be sure their investment is reaching their audiences through the blockchain's immutable records of customer identity and behaviour. You will notice that Sarah here can accept ads to earn more rewards. She can turn them off as well. She can make payments using cryptocurrency or fiat currencies. She can choose the shopping experience she wants and can do so across her devices as well. Blitzen will target major retailers and brands as well as tech-savvy individuals. However, anyone can be a user. Revenue will come through transaction fees collected from merchants at a cost of 30 cents plus 4.99% per transaction. This is in addition to advertising through the platform, which eventually will expand beyond the platform through partner integrations. The market is huge. The global payment processing segment is expected to reach over $75 billion by 2026. And the global digital advertising market will grow to over $700 billion by that same year. Let's look at Klarna, who has a similar business model and owns about 2% share of the payments market. Klarna started out in 2005 and is now a leading global payments and shopping service, providing flexible shopping and purchasing experiences to 90 million consumers across more than 250,000 merchants, processing 2 million payments a day and taking in fees of 6% per transaction. Over the next 3 years, Blitzen will be positioned as a leader in the blockchain loyalty rewards and payments market, with 1 million active consumers engaging with 500 merchants across 5 countries. And we're doing this now. We're building an audience through a pre-launch subscription, which you can join too by scanning the QR code on your screen. So why me? I have over 10 years of marketing experience within both private and public sectors. I'm a team leader and communicator, and I bring ideas to life. I want to change the narrative and show that targeted advertising and marketing is not a dark art and can be beneficial and empowering for everyone. I have the skills and passion and tenacity to achieve this vision. Now, do you? I'm looking for partners to share my vision who will invest into this venture through capital or technical expertise. If this is you, then let's make an impact together. Thank you.
Hi there, Tyson here. Fantastic job, and looks like you've done a lot of work on putting all of that together, and great to see some of the mock-ups there. What are some of the risks or things that would scare you most were you to really get out and start developing this platform and have investors asking you questions about it?
I suppose I'd have a lack of technical knowledge around building decentralised apps of this nature. So yeah, I definitely would like to find someone with that technical expertise before I really go and pitch to investors, just so there can be 2 of us. There can be someone that can answer those technical specific questions, and then there can be me on the side.
Yeah, great, awesome.
What a great concept. And I know that, the whole new data legislation is a big concern for a lot of advertisers. I can totally see the value proposition from the brand and the organisation perspective. Can you give me a little more detail about the value proposition to the customer? I understand that they get blockchain credits. What kind of size reward do they get? How do you know it's going to be worth their while, I guess, is my question.
Yeah, it sort of, again, goes into the whole how blockchain tokens work. It's sort of that the value is determined by what the community say the value is. It's like an agreed value. They can be backed by fiat currencies, or they can be quite volatile, as in, Bitcoin and Ethereum. I can't really give you a specific value on what those tokens are. I suppose other than that, the value would be that they can choose to have advertising served to them, and they can choose not to have that advertising served to them. They can track how their data is being used. They can, I suppose, see where all of their transactions have been. So through the platform, they can see that they went to Myer and purchased this and got this many tokens, this reward, or they can see, when advertisers have wanted to, share a message with them or share an offer, and I suppose it's just that bit there. So it's being transparent, and you can see that you're happy to share your data with the advertiser and then be rewarded for that as well.
Is there also a value proposition around quality and good fit? I think there are plenty of products and services in market, but actually finding one that fits your needs and your requirements can be quite a challenge. Is that part of the value proposition as well? That the more you engage with the platform, the more you're likely to get served up content and offers and products and services that work for you.
That's right.
So kind of cutting through the noise.
So through your settings, you would sort of note what your interests are, and what you want. You can sort of basically close yourself off to some people and open yourself up to others. So
that's great. Thank you.
Well
done.
Thanks. Yeah.
Just one quick question. Have you thought about what your approach would be to scaling this business? Like, how fast do you think you'd have to do it, and how would you? Do you know how you?
I would think
go
you'd
about
probably
doing
have to scale it pretty fast. Just thinking that there are probably a lot of other platforms that could adopt a similar model. So wanting to be at the forefront of all of that, is probably a concern. Probably going back to your original question as well about sort of concerns and worries. So,
I don't know if this is quite within the scope of what you looked at, but did you look at any potential partnerships with businesses that might already have an existing customer base, or that might have a complementary model in that payment processing market? That
I haven't looked into that, but you make a really good point. So,
cool.
Thank
Okay,
you.
great. Thank you.
Thanks.
Sorry.
Thanks. Well done, Nikki.
Thank you.
You can breathe.
I know, it's easy now.
Yeah, you've done really well. You mentioned that you've set up a trial platform that people can engage in. Has that been live for very long? Have you had much engagement yet? Or?
It's not live yet. So just I've opened up a pre-launch subscription sort of service. So if you want to know more, you can sign up, and I'm just sort of starting to build that audience now. So when something is ready to launch, I've got potential users and customers ready to go.
Great.
And thanks to Oren's advice.
Yeah, fantastic. How are you promoting that? To start to build the interest?
I'll do. I haven't spent any money towards it just yet in terms of promoting and pushing it out. That will come.
Okay, fantastic. Any more questions, judges? All right.
No,
well done.
You.
Thanks,
Thank
Nikki.
You. Thank you.
You can't see this, but so I'm not lying. It's 9 minutes and 50 seconds. In the green room, I told these judges that we can't go over time because this will blow out. No, it was perfect. I was just saying how good it was and complimenting the judges for not just rabbiting on like they normally do.
Look at me then.
We have our second pitch. We've got hecklers as well here.
Yeah, I was just saying you're judging the judges.
I know, this is how it works, and then you're judging me. It's just a big circle of life.
A whole thing of judging.
Yeah. So next cab off the rank, we have Julie Harper. She's somewhere behind me. Fantastic. Give her a warm welcome and a round of applause.
switch? Oh, there we go. Before I begin, would you agree that it's important to be able to read and write well? Yep. Raise your hand if you agree. Let's have a look at some proofreading errors. Can you imagine getting that no regrets tattoo? Even the smallest of typos can cost. Let's meet Dustin. He's an 11-year-old boy and he's in year 5. Dustin is an intelligent child with a good memory for facts and a great sense of humour, but he struggles to read and write. One day he said to me, "Miss Harper, Seth can read what's on the board, but I can't, and he's only in year 2. I'm so dumb." This comment was heartbreaking. When children do not have the core fundamental skills of reading and writing, they lose confidence. Like Dustin, they have feelings of inadequacy, low self-esteem and shame. And they don't just struggle in literacy, but across all subject areas. You have probably seen the difficulties that young people can face when they struggle with these skills, but what happens when they can read and write well? Children have an increased understanding of the world around them. They have more choice in their careers and how they wish to live their lives. Perhaps they might start their own business. And they're more likely to become vibrant individuals that can contribute to the success of the state and country. In essence, children who are confident readers and writers don't just survive, they flourish. As a teacher of 13 years, a tutor of 6 years, a content writer for one of the largest online educational publishing companies in the world, 5 years, and a parent of 17 and a half years, you know why reading and writing are important skills to be developed from an early age. This has led to creating resources and authoring books that link to the Australian curriculum and engage children through stories and activities. Proofreading is the solution. It's a skill. It can be taught, it can be improved with practice, it's transferable, and it will help children become better readers and writers. Proofreading slows down the eye and brain, making it easier to read every word on the page. It improves fluency and clarity of writing, but is often not explicitly taught, regardless of the fact that it's detailed in the Australian curriculum from year 1. Currently, competitors produce proofreading activities that are mainly one-offs, clumsy paper versions with different terminology and colloquialisms like from America, and with topics not relevant to the Australian market and not linked to our curriculum. ProofPower is an easy-to-use in-browser app that was created because engaging and relevant resources were absent from the market. ProofPower is integrated. For example, a year class might be studying a history topic, such as bushrangers. And in literacy, they can complete 10 weeks or a term's worth of daily proofreading activities related to this topic. ProofPower bundles grammar, punctuation, spelling, editing, and the technical vocabulary from a second subject area into one easy-to-use application. It's unique in that content can be created specifically for a certain topic. In addition, from a teacher's perspective, the benefits of using the app include ease of programming and assessment, individual, paired or class facilitation, and an engaging interactive delivery. ProofPower is not an idea or concept, but already functional and being trialled in 2 primary schools. User feedback from both teachers and students is being incorporated into the next version of the app. Every Australian primary school across all sectors could potentially use the app. Teachers and schools are highly networked and they will refer good resources and tools to each other. Plus, there are opportunities to facilitate professional development sessions to show ProofPower in practice. And wouldn't it be wonderful to see ProofPower helping students in developing countries with reading and writing? Feedback has indicated customers prefer a monthly subscription. Teachers are highly networked and they will refer good resources and tools to each other. Together with social media campaigns and editorial content in industry magazines, the goal is to aim for 5% of the South Australian market over the first year, with 7.5% and 10% growth nationally over the second and third year respectively, with opportunities for further growth. The app has been fully developed with teachers and students using it right here and right now. I'm Julie Harper, and if you would like to get involved with helping students like Dustin become more confident children, or if you have connections with writers and editors, schools and educators who may be interested in using the app, then please get in contact. Thank you for your time tonight.
Well done.
That was fantastic, Julie. Thank you very much for that. I particularly loved the emotive start to it. I was totally bought in from the beginning. So, yeah, really good. And obviously a massive, massive market here.
Yeah.
I'm just surprised that this doesn't exist.
Yes,
I think is
me
the
too.
biggest surprise to me. Yeah, I guess you said there's some things in America, but it sounds like this is pretty unique in the market.
Yeah, I think there's no apps that I'm aware of. Mm-hmm. There is some paper versions, and there is some one-off Australian curriculum-aligned paper versions, but they're not 10 weeks worth.
Wow.
So they're just sort of daily or even just weekly.
And
they're paper. They're not whiteboard interactive.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Awesome. And it seems like it's substantially complete, or you've kind of got a first MVP of some of the content developed?
There's content in there. It's just the beginning stages because it's being trialled. Mm-hmm. So it is complete. The app can be used as is. I'd love to add some more functionality to the app, so that's certainly on the cards. And it is in browser at the moment, so we'd like to create a downloadable version too.
Yeah, great.
For use
awesome.
on iPads and tablets.
And this is something basically that the parents would use and pay for their kids to get extra help outside of school, or is it something
you can,
the schools
absolutely.
incorporate as well?
Homeschoolers can use it, parents can use it. I mean, we've talked about remand centres, ESL, so it can be used across a wide variety of different sectors, but primarily we've been focusing on individual teachers that can use it in class.
Yeah, fantastic, awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks, Julie. What a great concept.
Thank you.
I particularly love the fact that you've been trialling it in market and getting that feedback, and it sounds like you've been building it in a responsive way.
Yes, and
getting the feedback.
Yeah.
Go on, sorry.
Yeah, exactly. So putting content in and then having to change it because of getting feedback is obviously probably not ideal. So it's been a bit of a rolled out approach so far.
Yeah. So really, it feels really well developed and tested, which is great. I did have a question around, and sorry if I missed this bit, but does the app do the proofing for the children, or does it teach them proofing skills?
It teaches them proofreading skills. So they get a daily activity, which is a block of text related to a certain topic, and they correct that text, and then on the app you see the corrected version of the text.
Okay.
And using proofreading marks.
Yeah,
symbols,
great.
Yeah.
And does it explicitly teach them the proofreading skills?
No, so that
as well?
would be part of the professional development with teachers.
Yeah.
Is to explain how to use the app to get the most out of it. But certainly it would be a lovely function to add so that they could hover over an error and find out why it actually is an error. So absolutely.
It is a very specific set of skills, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
I remember being taught how to do it.
It is incredible that it's not more widely taught explicitly.
Yeah. Why is it important to have an Australian version? Is that a dialect thing, or?
Well, it's partly that, I think. I had tried using the American version, that is the paper version, a couple of years ago, and I had to explain things to children, about certain terms that were used in there. The actual content wasn't really relevant to us, so if we're going to do some proofreading on an Australian historical topic or geography topic, it's much better to do some proofreading on that than do it on, say, some historical topic in the States or,
So really it's just the content, the content that you're using to do the exercise that needs to be region specific.
Yes.
So
yes,
potentially from a scalability perspective, you could actually have a global product.
Yes.
You just got to slot regional content
Yes,
into it.
absolutely,
Yeah, which is
absolutely,
great.
yeah.
Awesome.
And also content in other areas. It doesn't just need to be curriculum based. It could be other areas. For example, in English, I could do a set of novels, and we could look
Sure.
at narrative, and we could look at structure, and have a weekly, setting, character, and each week looks at a certain element of a novel, which is not
Yeah.
necessarily set in a curriculum. But
Great.
So it
Kids
could be.
love correcting other
They
people's
do.
work,
They
don't they?
absolutely do. Yes. It's a bit
Yeah.
like aiming at a target
Yeah.
and playing soccer and kicking a soccer ball into the goals. It's that sort of where can we find the errors? Yeah. So I know that some kids have been having a bit of a competition to see who can find the errors first.
I bet. Awesome. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'm going to ask the super quick question because we've got 30 seconds.
Okay.
No, it's all good. Julie, how many of you are working on this for the amount of content that has the potential to be added, and plus turning it from a browser into a handheld device app?
Yes.
How far are you along that process?
I'm associated with a developer at this point in time, and he is keen to create it as a downloadable app, so funding is an issue there. He's also keen to work on some extra functionality. As far as the content goes, it's myself, and I do have a colleague that has been writing for me as well, and I've been training her on how to actually enter it into the app. So, and again, that's something that I've asked for is to expand the team. So, and that's the sort of major push now, I think.
Fantastic. Well done, Julie. I love
Thank
the
you.
concept. I think the potential is fantastic. Well done.
Thank you.
And good questions. If I was in the training panel, I'd be asking different questions, but you always hear other people's perspectives, which is amazing. This next pitch is definitely a 2021 pandemic pitch. We've got it pre-recorded, so it's going to be canned, but the pitcher is going to come in for Q&A live. So they are actually watching this, but the pitch is recorded only because they're remote. 2021, that's what happens in pandemics and pitch nights. So I'm going to introduce Brucha, and she is from a company called Fermentality. Give her a big round of applause.
Hi, I'm Alice Springs. My name is Varushka, and this is my exciting project called STARS, which stands for Short-Term Animal Respite Service. So I'm a psychiatrist who works in Alice Springs with the arrow pointing to my hospital. So there's lots of mental and physical illnesses in Australia. 3 million Australians suffer with depression and 1 in 4 have anxiety. There are 11 million Australians who have at least one chronic condition, and you may be one. 3 million people live in poverty, and if you own a pet, you're not alone because there are 29 million pets in Australia. So this is Harry and Lenny. So Harry's the guy on the left, and he's actually my patient. Harry's life has been ravaged by severe mental illness. As a result, he can't work. He lives in poverty and social isolation. His only companion is the handsome guy on the right, that's Lenny. Harry often doesn't go into hospital even if he needs to, because he has worries about leaving Lenny at home. So we wondered here in Alice Springs about who would benefit from a project like STARS. And we thought that there were three main criteria that we'd be looking for. The first one would be people living with chronic illness, but they could also have acute illness. They would be living in poverty and own a pet. So from our population of roughly 39,000, we calculated that approximately 3,500 people would need alternative arrangements for their pets if they had to go to hospital. So we saw this as a real need. And who are we? We're a group of mainly health professionals who've started a charity called Fermentality. And we focus on the benefits that animals have on our physical and mental health. This is the project called STARS, and what we mainly do is that we provide free pet care to people who are disadvantaged who need hospital treatment. We've developed a couple of surveys. The one on the left is for our potential clients, and the one on the right is for people who we hope would contribute to it. And we've been getting positive feedback and responses. Our project has 3 arms. The first one are our volunteers. The second one would be our stakeholders, which would include vets as well. And the third one would be health providers, such as Alice Springs Hospital, where we would get our clients. Because we're so small, we thought we'd start off by doing a pilot project. We could then export that to larger areas. So we do have an unfair advantage amongst our members. And I think actually we are industry experts. We have one doctor and 3 nurses. Together we have years of experience in medical and healthcare. We do have insider contacts and industry information. And sadly, some of our members continue to live with chronic illness. So this is a table looking at our possible revenue channels. The E stands for estimates, and there are some question marks, as you can see. So highlighted in yellow is what we would like to get in first year, and in green for second year. So as you can see, for first year, we'd be hoping to get 58,500, and for year 2, 94,500. So we think that if we got that, that would cover our projected costs. So in year 1, looking after 20 animals, the big ticket items would be a car and employing 1 person. In year 2, we'd be looking at 50 animals and adding more staff. So the total for the first year would be approximately close to 58,000, and for the second, close to 91,000. Our long-term vision is to have an Australia-wide STARS network. How good would that be? We think there is a lot of potential, and we've done this comparative potential, and here we are looking at the state of New South Wales. It's got a population of 8.2 million and over 220 hospitals. We compared this with the Darwin and surrounding regions, as well as a part of New South Wales, the Hunter region. And we matched that and looked at it in comparison with the approximate 3,500 people that we thought would need our service in Alice Springs. So Darwin has a population 4 times of Alice Springs, and so we thought there'd be about 14,000 people who need our service. Hunter region, 16 times of Alice, so close to 56,000 people. So our target population are the disadvantaged people who avoid or delay going to hospital for treatment because they have worries about their pets. And we all know that delaying some medical treatment may be deadly. But we really, really need you. We can't do it alone, because every dollar that we raise can help us house an animal for the most vulnerable people in our society. So please, donate to STARS today. Thank you.
I think we've got Marushka on a speaker coming through somewhere that she can hear you.
I talk too much, so I'll let Verity start. We'll go the other way.
I'll wait for Varushka to come up, which I think she... Is Varushka here? Mute there, down the bottom. All right, here we go. Varushka, well done. Congratulations. Hopefully you can hear everyone's clapping for you there. Well done. First of all, I can see your passion. Sorry, can you hear us, Varushka?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. Great. First of all, congratulations. We can see and feel your passion for these, both the clients and the role that their pets play in their life, which we can see is highly important. Varushka, sorry, I'm just letting everyone in the room know there is a slight delay. There's about a 5-second delay from the broadcast to the...
Your passion.
There we go. A 10-second delay maybe. Sorry? Okay. Sorry, we're trying to get the delay sorted out. Great presentation on showing the comparison of what the potential growth is as well. Also loving the model of it being a community-based and not-for-profit model as well, and the opportunity to expand that too. Varushka, just one question I do have is the financial model. You've shown the costs, the potential costs that would be needed and covered compared to how much it's going to cost you to run it across the year, which, if I remember the figures correctly, are pretty similar in the cost to run compared to the financial input. Appreciate it's not for profit, so that equals not-for-profit. But if there is growth it takes on, how, or more than the numbers that you have predicted, what have you thought through if there are more people who want to take advantage of the support for their pets while they go into hospital, and how to build up that following of supporters and sponsors to enable that to happen? What if it blows out quickly and there's a lot of people who want to get behind it? How is that process going to be managed?
Okay, thank you for the question. Can you hear me?
Yes. Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, I sort of got most of the question, and I think you were asking me if the project grew larger, how would we get more funding for it? Was that the question?
Yeah, yes. I made it much longer than that, so you did well.
Yeah, look, I think a lot of that would be actually, the proof would be in the pudding. So I think that the community here, if they saw that there was a large need, then I think that we would have contributors, particularly from organisations such as Rotary and Lions clubs here. They would be able to contribute to us. But also I think that we'd be able to then reach out more widely for our supports. Approach, I think like I mentioned, health insurers and also maybe philanthropic bodies. So I think if we were able to prove ourselves, then hopefully it would snowball and we would have sort of, I guess, street cred to be able to say, look what we've done, this is the need, can you help us a bit more?
Thanks, Rishka. I'm just going to expand a little bit on that as well. Well, thank you for that. You mentioned the possibility of places like Rotary or Lions coming on board. Have you progressed in those conversations? Have you reached out to any of those organisations as yet?
Our charity, Fermentality, when we began, we actually went, we did a presentation to the Rotary Club. And from that presentation, they gave us close to $2,000 that we were able to then buy a marquee with. It's interesting because after the presentation, I sat down with them and the president said, well, Varushka, how much money do you want? And I thought, oh, I don't know. So I just, I said, well, we'd like a marquee. And the money, and they provided the money. So I think we've created a lot of goodwill there. Our marquee obviously has the sponsorship, logo on it. So I think that we've started the conversation with Rotary. It's interesting, a small town like Alice Springs, we actually have 3 Rotary clubs. So, could reach out to them. I'm also banking on sort of the larger businesses here. And I think that, building up that arm of it would also be beneficial for us.
Fantastic. Thanks, Varushka. I'm going to pass you down the judging line.
Hello, Varushka, and thank you. That's a beautiful concept. I've been told I have to be incredibly quick. My suggestion was also going to be around sponsors as opposed to donors, because they tend to be more reliable because they've got more skin in the game. And I think, it's such a compelling concept from a heart perspective that I think it's a concept that if you find the right brands, there would be a real strong value proposition for them to get involved. So, yeah, I would definitely consider looking at the sponsorship angle as well as just donors. And I'm going to pass it on.
Hi, Varushka. Thanks so much for that. Really quick question from me. Where are the actual facilities for these animals to stay? Are they at the hospital, or are these people volunteering to take the animals in?
So we would have volunteers that we would. We've already drafted some agreements, and we have a market every 2 weeks, and we've already had about 10 people who said that they would volunteer. So they would be in their homes.
Great. Okay. Thank you.
Well done, Varushka.
Thank you.
Next up, while they're getting ready, as you can see in the audience, we've got a team of 3. We've got Peng Su.
Arm, closer. And turn your mic on.
It's on. You hold the mic?
that I am.
We have Peng Su, we've got Raina Abraham, we've got Nikki Salono, and they are from, Nikki Spiro from CMBD. When you are ready, take it away, but we'll give you a round of applause to lead it off.
Hi, we're the CMBD C Plastics team, and I'd like to ask you, if I may, did you use plastic today? And, whoops, ahead of myself. And do you know what's going to happen with waste?
No.
Closer? No. Unfortunately, only about 10% of plastic is recycled. That's what National Geographic tells us. And most of that enters the waterways, building up and slowly breaking down into harmful bioplastics. These enter the food chain and eventually our bodies. Bioplastics harm health. Most states have banned single-use plastics and say no to plastics. Most packaging targets also want 100% compostable options. But policy has yet to address the microplastics problem.
So we present a product which is 100% biodegradable because the plastics which is used right now, the bioplastic which is known as, it has got 90% of material which is a regular plastic, 10% of material which is biodegradable, and that creates an even bigger problem, that is creating microplastics. Microplastics enter into your system, creates even more harm to the ecosystem. So here we have got our product 100% biodegradable, CMBD seaweed sea plastic, 100% biodegradable, no waste, absolutely zero waste, no microplastics, has got no harmful chemicals, because we need a plastic which is 100% degradable. We need to transform our plastic industry. Our plastic industry need to catch up the wave with the technology. Why seaweed? Because it's a locally available resource. We are bringing this concept as a sea-to-sea concept. Seaweed derived from the sea, and it goes back into the sea. And last week, we are very fortunate that $1.5 million was invested by SA government to build a seaweed aquaculture. So here we present a concept which is which can conquer the carbon capture, benefits the environment, the concept which produces absolute zero waste. It's a better polymer than starch, has got absolute, takes no land, no waste or chemicals. Seaweed has got immense amount of applications. It can go into food packaging, edible films, it can do agriculture films. More important, it has got application within 3D bioprinting medical applications.
Right, thank you. Thanks, Renu. I think I would like to invite everybody to read and try to remember this name, CMBD, C Plastic, again, because it's kind of important. Because we believe in the short future, you will see it everywhere on your bottle, you know, the sanitizers, phone cases, even the chair you're sitting. Right, our business actually is providing service to the industry through consultation and licensing, education, and trainings. Also, we do business analysis, process improvement, proof of concept, more importantly, policy and compliance. Right. Bioplastic, as Renu mentioned, was only 1% of the global plastic market in 2013, but it will be expected to grow to 40% in 10 years' time, which worth more than $300 billion by 2030. And then we believe actually we can help your business to catch this dramatic growing market through the seaweed, sea plastic. At the moment, we're not only serving the two growing market of bioplastic, $25 billion, and the seaweed market, for $11 billion. Our vision actually is to create a new seaweed, sea plastic industry and market. And our business model was based on technical solution packages, and we believe it will create a $1.3 million revenue for CMBT Center and in the first year. And we believe actually our growth will be at least 20% per year. So policy shifts quickly. So have a competitive advantage, I believe, and make difference for our planet with this super sea plastic. And thank you very much.
Awesome. Thank you so much, guys. For context, I have two different businesses that do biodegradable and compostable coffee pods. So quite passionate about this. Yeah, pods. Yeah. So. Yeah. I guess my question as a business owner in that area, continuity of supply, being able to have this stuff. If I said to you guys tomorrow, I want to start using these seaweed plastics, do you guys have stuff ready to go?
We have a supplier in the southeast, Australian Kelp Products, that is supplying us currently. And also, as you just heard Renew say, that the South Australian government is going to invest into aquaculture. So currently we're using beach cast seaweeds. That is a renewable source. So we're actually not taking anything from the seabed, and we're complying with ecological standards. But also there's the potential for aquaculture in the near future. Very exciting news for us.
Awesome. And do you guys have a background in chemicals or plastics or engineering or that side of things?
Yeah, only 15 years. Right. So we are basically we're from a Flinders Research Center, and so we've been working on seaweed for more than 10 years, and obviously seaweed plastic about. How many? 4 or 5 years? Can't remember. Been too long, I guess. 5 years. Yes, actually, we start fundamental science through those materials, and now reach the stage of industrialization. And as we said, we're now producing products, and we actually mainly help the industry transform to next stage of technology. So that's what we're doing.
Awesome. Well, I'm keen to chat to you separately about that then after this. But my final question is, what do you see as the biggest problem in adoption of these seaweed plastics?
Sorry. Oh, yeah. Matt, you want to?
I think it's more of a technology shift. People haven't understood the concept very correctly. What bioplastic we are using right now, it's 90% of regular plastic and 10% of organic material. So that's why we want to have a material which is 100% biodegradable. Just supporting your concept, we have prepared a capsule pod of coffee, just goes right into the coffee, dissolve and just get it. So we have the concept, that's why we are presenting the concept, taking it from the sea and giving back to the sea. So it's ready to go concept, a platform which needs to be transformed and quickly adopted by the industry.
Yeah, I think it's really a marketing problem. How you get the customers to want to buy this, and as soon as you can tip that over, in my opinion, that's when businesses will buy it because it makes money and it makes sense.
Yeah, and also to differentiate what's the difference, because they all come under the title of bioplastics, and people need to understand that our bioplastics are better.
Thank you.
Have we got time for, how long we got? 1.5 minutes. All right, let's do it. Okay. All right. I was surprised when you said that you were just going to sit in the consulting space rather than manufacturing. I'm guessing particularly from a scalability perspective, it seemed like an interesting path to go down. Who will your clients be? And how do you envisage, what services do you envisage supporting them with?
Right. Actually, the client at the moment actually is really the manufacturers who want to enter Australian market. And for example, there's about 120,000 plastic manufacturers globally.
Yeah.
And then in Australia, we don't have many, maybe about 5 or 6. But for example, our primary client actually is really the company who want to become the first actually market adapter, which basically wants to releasing a new kind of plastic product based on the marine resource. I think that is the main customer we're looking at the moment, because we are a research center and also a research group. So providing technical consultancies is really fit us at this stage. And because we have been developing lots of technologies and IPs, and we're just sitting there. And so for each different manufacturers, we actually can custom-made the technical solution package for them to quickly actually use it and upgrade their production lines and then releasing a new product.
So it sounds like the Australia is kind of very new in terms of production facility capability.
Australia is almost none.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So basically, Australia have no seaweed industry and no large plastic manufacturing industry, my understanding.
Quite.
We make bags, but we don't make plastic. And so we import a lot of stuff.
So I guess initially your role will be a lot around facilitating that import.
Yes, exactly. And also that's why I emphasize on the policy compliance, because you can't sell anything to Australian market. You have to comply with a certain standard. And then so I think that is also our competitive advantage. And also we can help the manufacturers to access all the government grant as well, so reduce the risk and speed up the process.
Okay, great. It's certainly I can totally see the need and how this solves a problem that, God, has been going on for way too long now, hasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, thanks. Verity, you got 3 seconds.
I'm excited. I'm just going to say that. It's trying to find now how to connect you with the right people that can influence the change in that plastic manufacturing industry, and who's going to do that first. Because whoever does it first and can work out the cost competitive advantage of that will change the competitive nature of plastic, which I think is an exciting proposition. Yeah. No questions because we've run out of time.
And also for policy to understand the difference too. Because currently the policy is falling behind the technology.
Great. Yeah, congratulations. Well done.
Thanks.
But all the pictures so far have been on time, so I don't need to give these people Davis too much. And you've all been wonderful. Like, it's been really good. If you had seen the whole process from last week and the week before, you would be astounded how far these have come. They are utterly amazing. Next up, we have Layla Raslan. She is on my left. We're going to give her a big round of applause to introduce Mindset English. Layla, take it away.
Okay. So, I don't want you guys to miss this, so I'm going to read it for you. So, Caveman 1 says, I swear if Uga puts one more picture of his pet mammoth on his wall, I'm going to club him. So, why have I shown you guys that? Because ever since prehistoric times, language-based communication has become the foundation of education, collective intelligence, culture, empathy, and relationships. So, at the turn of the 21st century, one such language, English, has become the lingua franca of the world. It is spoken by 1.7 billion people. That's a quarter of the world's population. And so even non-native English nations are adopting this language to meet the global standard of communicating and overcoming the language barrier. And so there is money to be made in English language education. So knowing that the importance of English, we are finding most English language learners to be having a low proficiency in English, as well as an inadequate level of independence and confidence. So this could be for a range of reasons. If they're taking crash courses, there's poor results that are achieved through there and a lack of confidence on those students. If they're doing conventional classroom-based kind of study, there's a cultural gap and they tend to be falling behind. If it's online, there's a high dropout rate and they're not as sufficiently motivated because they don't have that interaction with a teacher. And if they are doing individual tutoring, well, it's too expensive at most for some. So I, Layla, am the owner and founder of Mindset English. I have been in existence for the past 2 years. and taught over 50 students who are mostly of Asian backgrounds. And I've taught a range of ages and a range of need, but predominantly I always come back to teaching them grammar. And I have a damn good way of teaching it, and I think that's where I sell myself with them. So regardless of what they come to me for, I bring them back to the same sort of like learning content that I have created myself. I am currently on a one-to-one basis, which is highly labor intensive and not scalable, but I believe it is possible to create a system that is one teacher for several students. And so to have a competitive advantage, I will need to emphasize not only the content delivery, but have an engagement of, or generate engagement and have active feedback. And in doing so, I will have prioritized the quality of the learning experience. So my approach is to have a new business model that will bridge the gap between language and human connection. So we'll be offering very customer focused, offering highly tailored and desirable products, live feedback, and adapt to the level of the students' learning, and really just having that atmosphere that supports their well-being in both mind and body, hence Mindset English. It's all about the mind. So how do I know that this will work? Well, I have surveyed my 50 students that I have, and all have voiced the same concerns since day one. And of all the students, 100% have shown a great deal of enthusiasm and approval of my new approach. So what would set me apart? Well, I'm wanting to adopt an innovative business model that integrates several delivery platforms. So from face-to-face to online, virtual, mobile, self-study, and other blended formats, you name it. So by doing so, we'll not only have adapted to the comfort of the student learner, but also targeted those in non-native English speaking countries. In addition to offering my own created, tried, tested, and proven content, we'll have interactions, a human kind of interaction, and offer a range of courses. So from grammar to a range of courses. So the global demand is driven by 142 countries who are in the green. They have made English their national education curriculum. So Australia has become the leading destination for the learners of these countries. And even so, with COVID, distant language learning is greater than ever. So Australia is in such a great place. It is a huge growth industry. So it's projected to reach $27 billion by 2017. That's a growth of 15.8%. Asia Pacific dominates this at 48%. Australia is 15% of this market share. So even though there are loads of players in the market, for us newcomers, we aren't fazed by them. So our plan is to be subscription-based. If we offer a package of 360 Australian dollars over a 12-month plan, it will consist of live recorded webinars and 2 on-demand courses. That's 12 lessons, 18 hours, really cheap compared to what is out there. So to step up and gain our fair share of the market, we require 72,000 of funds. So this will be mostly towards marketing and setting up that delivery base and materials, and really keeping our costs down, because we'll be having hired shared space. So it is projected that by the 3rd year, if we have 500 students in that year, it will be at 2 million. And that's the fact that we can also sell other kind of educational tools and such. So with this immediate need for the English language learning and a growing enthusiasm, not only by learners, but from myself, I present you a window of opportunity to come on board with me. Thank you.
Well done.
Thank you.
I could see the timers going up and thinking, I'm getting like...
No, I guess we all...
No, well done, well done. So Layla, tell me, I love this concept, and you have identified this as being, it's a very competitive market, and global market that people can access from anywhere.
Yeah.
And you've mentioned the mindset angle is your differentiator.
Yes.
In what is a very heavy market.
Yeah.
How how are you going to sell the mindset over the content? When your market might be looking at content feasibility or, easy accessibility, similarly looking at, a comparative is that it looks exactly the same when they start investigating from whatever country. How is the mindset part the standout for you?
So I came up with this idea, the mindset part, I've named my business myself, is really because I'm going to incorporate changing their mindset. It's just as simple as that. And as I've mentioned, regardless of the need that they come to me for, everyone just runs away when they hear the word grammar. But when I bring them back to understanding, changing their mindset and letting them understand that if you really want to perfect your English, you're going to have to know grammar. And I will explain it to you in such a great way. So the mindset part comes into that, because that's originally how I kind of had the idea. But it's also, even for the range of courses, no matter what course there will be, it's really getting that mindset, that, the confidence, getting over the anxiety, getting over whatever I can build. It's not just English, but it's a whole package of changing their mindset and their outlook and whatever it is that they're taking on board. And majority of the time I end up being a mentor to these students more than I'm probably teaching them English. So,
can I just say your enthusiasm for this topic and for the people you work with, that is what needs to be the front of your sales, is actually you doing what you just did then, and talking about your passion for this, and letting you be seen, because that is what people are going to buy.
Exactly.
More so than necessary, I think, more so than necessary some of the content. Once you've got them based on you, you're the sales pitch up front.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now we'll work on that.
Hi, Lila, and thank you. I totally agree with Verity that, your enthusiasm and warmth is, and you definitely need to be, from a branding perspective, you definitely need to be heading down a sort of personal brand, certainly weaving that element into it. My question was also around the mindset thing. I'm still not totally clear on how specifically it will be taught or delivered or incorporated. I felt through your presentation it was so interesting as a concept, but I was desperate to kind of taste the experience or to get a flavour of what it might like to be one of your students. Are you able to give us a little more, paint a bit of a picture for us? Because I'm sure you've got it.
Yeah, so when I have these students, so the content really is grammar, but it's a lot of the time I hear their concerns and they tell me it, and it's a confidence thing that they keep having. And so the more that I can build on that confidence, and the mindset part is just getting them to just understand, wrap their mind around it, and to see it through my eyes. And I think when I get them on board with me, and I've had one, actually my very first student, I still remember him until today. He was from China, and he was so convinced, very poor, as we know, speaking skills they have over there. So he just wanted speaking with me. And I remember just telling him, he's speaking. I'm like, it's all well and good, you want to pick up that speaking, but your accuracy is not there. And so I had to take him to, let me just show you grammar. And he was like so wanting to just run from that, I know all the rules, they think they know it, but then it's when I show it to them and I get them to change their outlook and see it through my eyes and have fun with it the way that I, have fun with it. And I'm one with them. When I'm studying, I'm really just one with them. So I am their, almost like an extension of them studying. And that's the mindset part, is take me on board as I am your, one with you, as we're studying together. So that's the mindset part, getting their head around that.
All right. I think it would be really interesting process for you to go through to try and map out and get on paper what is your method, because I feel as though you do it so and I see this problem all the time. You do it so instinctively that I think it's a challenge for you to communicate exactly how you do it, and I think that's going to be a really important part of how you pitch this. So, maybe get someone to help you if you can, to observe you at work or to hear you talk through your process that you go through, and really try and map out, what is your method, because that's going to be key to communicating this, I think.
I did realise marketing was my thing, and even though, I could put together something, it's just that getting that right word, and I think it's all in my head,
that's
and it's just
I can see it's there, but it's just getting it out in a way that other
it.
people can grab it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I like the idea that you said, get someone to actually just sit in and observe.
I think that would be a really useful
Get there.
thing to do.
Yeah. Take
Great
them out.
stuff. Thank you.
30 seconds.
Really quick, easy, or hopefully easy question. So I'm a customer. I pay $500 a month. Is that
$360?
$360 a month?
Yeah, a month.
What do I get?
So in that time, you'll be getting once a week, you'll have access to me. So whether that you're, here in Adelaide itself, you'll be joining into a live classroom, or if you're elsewhere, interstate, overseas, you'll be being fed in live. So that's once a week for, I'm still, 1.5 hours I'm still sort of working my way around that. So that's once a week, and then twice a week I'll be getting you to go off and doing, again, I'll have these, again, it will all be platformed and set up right, that there'll be, and I've got my own content, so it's the content is there, it's just getting it there. You'll be accessing twice a week, exercises and all that you do. Again, I've set a certain amount of time that you need to do in that time. And so that's a weekly thing, because I've noticed I tend to have students that are once, maybe twice a week anyways. So I'm holding on that one live with me. And then if I'd love to have possibly offer them maybe a little question and answers at the end, because I want these rooms to be huge, whether those are sitting in or sitting out. So I really don't want to be spending time answering questions and stopping myself. So then they could have maybe an extra package where then they get an extra time with me.
Great. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks, guys. Thank you.
Next up, we have another 2021 pitch of someone that is remote. We've got Hermione Wangazono from Cherished & Co, who is dialing in to do a 5.5-minute pitch, and then she's going to be here live for you to answer some questions. Give her a virtual round of applause, in person for online.
Hello, my name is Hermione. I'm a mom of 2 girls, and I've been inspired to design the best maternity bra possible, Cherished & Co. And imagine in 2021, it's still not easy to find a proper maternity bra. Well, I know this because myself, I've experienced that. I've struggled both times I had my children to find a proper maternity bra. A maternity bra that made me feel good, that had support, comfort, or that it was sexy. I know my friends and family have also had this issue, and that's why I realized that there's a gap in the underwear industry between a normal bra and a maternity bra. A maternity bra lacks everything a woman needs in a bra. That's the color, choices of color, fabrics, the support, especially the comfort. This issue has impacted some moms' breastfeeding journey as well as maternity journey negatively. What they've had to say about maternity bra is that it's just plain in designs, in colors, it lacks the support, it's just ugly, and so on. And now we've brought you our solution. Offering moms something that's been missing for a long time. A maternity bra that makes them feel empowered, beautiful, sexy, and uplifted. Offering a limited option for them to select from with fabrics, colors, designs, and great support and comfort. An opportunity for self-care as well. Buy something for yourself, feel good and uplifted while looking after the little one and putting the needs first. Our designs will have multiple ranges for women to be able to select from, with great benefits that women want in a bra. The comfort, the design, the colors, and support as well. And that leads us to our target market, which is pregnant moms and early moms in Australia and across the world. In Australia, there were close to 300,000 recorded early moms in 2019, and approximately 148.28 million recorded across the world. The total available market is 10.42 billion, with 887 million serviceable available market and 1.8 million serviceable obtainable market. Well, our vision is to change the world one bra at a time. We want every woman to feel empowered and cherished in the maternity journey, especially in our maternity bras. We want to highlight that motherhood doesn't mean that you're no longer worthy of a great bra. Offering them trending current styles, designs, and colors to choose from. Did you know up until the late 1960s, breastfeeding was unpopular in the Western world? And up until now, breastfeeding in public is still an issue. Well, this is why there wasn't a big market demand for maternity bras, and therefore manufacturers and the businesses were just not interested in producing great maternity bra because it was too costing for them. Well, we're here to change that. We're here to meet the women's needs by giving them a bra that's functional for feeding, with great quality, great support, and many designs to select from. Our marketing plan is to use email marketing and also have a great unboxing experience for our customers once they receive our product, so they can feel in touch with our brand and always feel like they've been put first with what we provide them, even with our packaging and the messages that we put in there. We also have social media influencers to promote our product and give feedback on our product as well. Our products will be available online via our website, also on social media, as well as other retailers like Alexandra Lingerie and The Iconic. Well, for so long, businesses have put the profit as a focus in this department. They've wanted to make profit instead of providing women with great quality. And so that ends today. We want women to feel honored with our designs. We want them to know that every design has been made with them in mind. We don't want them to just get something cheap like they had in the past. We want them to get great quality, and we want them to feel amazed every time they wear our product. Our business model. So the average cost per bra and shipping is $46, with average price of $84.95 and a gross profit margin of 48%. We need $450,000 as a total cost for the product launch, expenses, and cash flow for the next 12 to 18 months. Thank you for your time today.
Why not? Where's the camera? I want to make sure I'm looking behind me. Okay. Thanks, Hermione. That's, fabulous presentation. And I really love, I love the strength of your vision. And I love the fact that, there's no doubt that you've identified a really strong need there. And, you're really clearly set out to help fix that need. I had a question. I had a couple of questions, but my main one is around, one of the things I really liked from a customer perspective is, this huge range and this concept of almost unlimited options in terms of styles and cuts and colors and finishes. But I'm guessing as a startup, you're not going to be able to leap straight into a massive range. So I think my question is, have you thought about how you plan to scale the range of products that you plan to offer? How many different styles and types of bras do you intend to start with?
Sorry, I'm struggling to hear you, but I think you were asking a little bit about the sizes.
No, not specifically. I noticed in your presentation that part of your value proposition was that women could choose from a wide range of different colours and styles. And I wondered how quickly you were planning to scale to having such a wide range of products.
I think our plan was to try, so each season there will be different ranges depending on what style is trending during that time in season. So it's not every time that we're going to have every single color, but depending on what's trending, that's when we're going to know what style and colors will be best suited in that season.
That's great. Thank you. Who's next?
Thanks so much. Look, fantastic area of the market, and I can see this working really well as a D2C product. The 450 grand investment, what makes up that? I guess probably kind of similar to what Emily's getting at is, it seems like quite a large amount when I think you could start with quite a small, narrow range, build the market and build out from there.
Oh yeah, I understand where you're coming from. I think that amount came from trying to also have, when having a lot of range of colors, you have to spend a bit more to give with a good quality as well as having different sizes. So all of that does cost a lot, as well as including cost of shipping and packaging and marketing and all that stuff. That's all included in that price.
Great, thank you. Awesome.
Thanks, Marnie. I think this is a great concept and definitely a market need. It just surprises me that at a worldwide level, there is not anybody who has actually thought of or created a sexy maternity bra. And the idea that it could start from a startup to actually change an industry that is quite a profitable industry is really exciting. So well done.
Thank you.
And I'm just following on from a couple of the questions that Emily and Tyson have asked. That initial investment is obviously quite large. Have you contemplated maybe just starting a bit smaller and thinking, actually, you know what, we're just going to start with one colour option or two colour options or two styles, and we're going to start small? Because I think the packaging you've also talked about is exciting. But I wonder if you'll actually get a market on board by people engaging early rather than actually starting large, because it will then show the need, which could actually get a large manufacturer on board or a more personalised, smaller lingerie firm. What have you thought through in that kind of the scaling up process, which is really what Emily was asking in the first place, that rather than trying to provide a full market straight up, what if you started quite small as a bit of a small market segment?
Yeah.
And use that social media, for example, as your marketing platform to then drive more investment?
Yeah. Actually had this week, or yesterday, I had a meeting with one of the retailers, and they advised me something similar. It would probably be beneficial to start off with lesser styles and colors and options to test the market and see how it goes and then expand. So I've actually started thinking about that as well. So I think that's a great idea to start off a bit small and then offer a lot of options as time goes.
Fantastic. And the other thing to think about, I'm going to just make one more comment as you do that, is potentially thinking about alternative materials as well, because I know there is a big market in thinking about different materials that are used in fabrics that could be derived from alternative sources. Seaweed bras. No, that's right. Is that where you want to end, just on the seaweed bra? Okay. Well done, Hermione.
Thank you so much.
I had to find an awkward segue, and that was it. We have 3 to go. We are 2/3 of the way through this pitch night. The next pitch is from a duo. We're only going to hear from one of them. The other partner that is there is Joel Albrightson, and we've got Matt Pearson. Both are from a company and product called Air PM. Put your hands together, please. Most welcome. Matt.
Hello. Have you ever wondered what a property manager does or why they get paid so much money to manage property? My name is Matt. I'm from AirPM. Our product, Air Property Management, is a digital app which puts the profits back into the pockets of the landlords. So AirPM is a digital solution for the property management space. So with over 10 years of real estate experience, I've looked for a digital platform which offers all of the administrative, financial and maintenance problems in one central solution and one central location for the management system. So there currently is a lot of digital offerings in all the adjacent space, but no platform that does absolutely everything in an all-in-one inclusive system. So what you're currently paying for in a traditional sense now on the industry average, which sits at about 8.8% including GST, the management fee of $1,580 per annum, a letting fee, lease renewals, inspections, admin, disbursements. The list goes on and on and on, and the costs continue to grow. It sits at just under $3,000 per annum. So with AirPM, our solution comes in at under $1,000. And the reason being is we systemise the entire process to make sure that rather than being labour heavy and the old-fashioned way of traditional administrative programs, we've done everything through the app, which brings all the costs down. So looking at the 4 basic particulars here, so the rent, currently how rents are paid now, they're collected on the 1st and the 15th of each month. The landlord doesn't get any transparency, just on the 1st or the 15th, they either get paid or they don't. In our system, there's complete transparency, and at any time, 24/7, landlords can click on our app and see whether the rent's been paid. They can see where they're at with pretty much everything's kept in one central location. So open inspections, what happens now, it's very labour heavy. Someone will see a property for rent, they'll go on realestate.com, they'll contact the property manager, they'll leave a voicemail, the property manager will call the prospective tenant back and leave a voicemail, emails get sent, they play phone tag, then by the time they finally get hold of them, the property's been leased 3 days ago and Dorothy was on annual leave. The system's outdated, it's failing, it's just so 1990s, it makes me anxious. With our system here, you go online, you register for AirPM, you do it once, you give your particulars once, that's it. We hold your data forever. You then register to view the property. You get to view the property only if you're not on the Australian blacklisted list. So if you're blacklisted, unfortunately, you can never get into one of our properties. We then send you a code. You've got 10 minutes to go and access the property. So there's a door lock, you get a 4-digit code, similar to cardless cash where you get your 30 minutes. With us, you get 10 minutes. You go in, you view the property. There's no labour at all. You've got that flexibility. You can view it any time that works for you. Same with maintenance. We know there's about 100 problems over the lifelong longevity of an investment property. We know there's going to be plumbing issues over 30 years. We know there's going to be electrical issues. We know things are going to be painted. We know things are going to get damaged. The traditional model here, what happens is the tenant rings the property manager, leaves a voicemail, sends an email. It's all so slow and outdated. With our system, up front, we figure out what's going to go wrong and what are the steps. So when there's a plumbing issue, the tenant doesn't ring anyone. They ring the plumber that's been selected from the landlord. They get the quote. They present it to the landlord. And until it's been approved by the landlord, no funds are dispersed, no invoices are paid. It's just much more systematic, it's much more proactive rather than reactive. And with routine inspections, how they were done during the COVID crisis, they were done by the tenants themselves. So the tenants took the pictures and sent them to the property manager. With us, the tenant take the pictures, they upload them in the app. The tenant and the landlord can communicate through the app, but only through text messages. They can't call each other in the middle of the night and any of that stuff. We don't know any of that. So currently landlords are overpaying, it's inefficient, it's old-fashioned, it's slow, it's boring, it just doesn't work. Having our system here, it's updated, it's organised, it's systemised, it's modern, it's digital property management in a traditional analogue space. So our potential market, we want to head into the self-managed properties first. So landlords that are currently self-managing, the people that say we're not going to pay a property manager, they get paid too much, we don't want to do it. We want to tackle them first and take all of the legwork, all of the hard work off them and get it through the app. Then we build up that customer network first. Once we get that going, then we want to track into the huge potential of the traditional players in the game, Ray White, Harcourt, so on and so forth. So we want to hit into the 71% of investors. That's the 71% of people that have one investment property, which sits at over 1 million properties, 1.57. So our competitors, existing landlords, self-managers companies, and then low-cost companies, 1300 Easy Rent, they just do the exact same thing as Ray White and Harcourt's, but for half the cost. There's no middleman cog in the wheel with our system, all the unnecessary reduction phone tag and such I've talked on. One central application for all details, documents, chat functions, frequently asked questions, so we've got all of that. Our marketing platforms, obviously through social media, we would tackle, and we want to go from there. So our business plans and objectives are to get 50 clients in our first year and then move up to 200, 500, 1,000 within the first 7 years. And that's it. Thank you very much.
Gosh, so much to take in there. That's fantastic, and I think real estate agents will hate you. And on that, is this something that real estate agents could incorporate into their existing business models, or will this kind of work with a landlord listing on realestate.com.au? They then have this platform as well that does the whole process, and there's no need for property managers outside of you guys.
Yeah, they could. They could each have their own app, but they've already got that anyway, so they've sort of got their own internal database, but there wouldn't be one that does it for everyone. So it would be parts of it, which is already happening now. So if you sort of look at all the adjacent space to what makes up property manager, there's already a heap of stuff on that outside, but there's nothing in the middle that does all of it, if you know what I mean. So yeah, so there's more technology came into taxi drivers and all the stuff they did, but no one came with the idea of Uber and sort of just revolutionised the whole space. So.
Yeah, it's a frustrating, horrible process for everyone, so great to see something coming out of this.
Yeah, which just makes a huge opportunity for sure. Yeah.
Great, thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks very much. Same here. I can totally see the size of the problem and the size of the solution, which is great. I have a question.
Yeah.
What part of your plan keeps you awake at night? What's the potential weakest link in, you've created this sort of almost like ecosystem of applications and functionality. What's the bit that makes you go, ugh?
Getting the technology, getting the end product. So I'm meeting with someone, potential app developer next week, but I've been meeting with a heap of app developers because I want to not pay someone to build the app and then say thanks. I want someone to come into the business and be a part of that process from the start. And I couldn't understand why I'd continually meet with app developers and they'd get excited, and then as long as the coffee date went on, they'd seem anxious, and by the end they were just running for their car. And I spoke to the mentor we had coffee with last week, and he sort of explained that you're frightening them off because I've been going to them and talking to them about the Taj Mahal, and they've got the potential ability of a handyman. So I was like, can you build this for me? And so, the coffee date went on, they'd be sitting there just thinking, this is too much. And I was saying door lock and money and all this, it would send a code, and they were just thinking, I think getting someone that can build it from the ground up, as we talked about with Oren, and getting it right from the start, that's the bit that overwhelms me, because I've got the idea in my head, but I don't have the technological capacity to go from there, because I'm like, it's an app, just build it,
Yeah, how hard can it be?
I know, and I'm the same. I've got a best mate that's an electrician. He goes into houses and people just say to him, put a PowerPoint there, and he's just like, with the old house that's 100 years old, and they're like, yeah, just put it there, it's easy, just do it. So it's like, it's trying to, that's the bit that overwhelms me, because with Joel, my partner, we know the real estate space, we know the opportunity is huge. It's trying to get it right, because we have to get that technology right from the start. That's why we didn't want to go to someone and say, build us this, and then, actually we need it changed, and they say, no, good luck, you're on your own, because then we're stuffed. So,
brilliant. Thanks, Matt, and good luck.
Thanks very much.
Yeah, well done. There is a huge market here for, as you mentioned, a quite antiquated process when it comes to property management. Yes, there are real estate agents who have their apps, but not to the level that you're talking, that easy access, etc. I can see why developers are really excited initially and then petrified by the end of the conversation, because the process is exciting. But when you think about all the different pieces there, it can be very overwhelming as well. What I would be encouraging you to think about is that I wonder how many other people are thinking about this at the moment. So it's finding the right app developer, as you've already identified as the thing that keeps you awake at night. I've paused because I keep thinking, we could connect you with that particular person. And it's often a question, is the app developer thing. I think we need to get some app developers on Venture Dorm because they would go miles, because so many of our Venture Dormers have fantastic ideas, but we just need that development piece. A question I did have is the data storage. You said that we keep your information for life. With a whole lot of policy and changing legislation about data, I would be looking at where you're keeping that data as well. And so when you're in those early stages, think about the privacy issues of that data and where that information is stored. Australia is becoming more and more protective of where people's personal information is stored. So think about, if you're using a cloud-based platform, if that data is stored out of country or within country, and cover that off early rather than having to change down the track. And Amazon might be able to help with that piece of the puzzle. No question, just a whole lot of comments. I really am rambling tonight. But well done. It's a great concept, and I can see that you are passionate about it, and I look forward to seeing the solution really soon.
Thanks so much.
Thank you. That was really cool. That's really good. So good.
Fantastic. Next up, we've got Parented Plus with Georgie Warren. Put your hands together and make her feel very, very welcome.
Hello. Hello. Have you ever felt like your children are speaking a different language when they come home from school? Have you looked at their work and have no idea what they're learning? Do you feel frustrated when you feel like no one is listening to you when you ask for help? What is your memory of school, and what do you remember about your parents and learning at that time? Was it positive? Whoops. My story. My story is one of a parent moving through school alongside my children. When I was a little girl, I was reasonably cute. My parents were always in the school picture. They were able to help with my schoolwork until I told them to back off. It was the same for myself when I had 2 children start school. I got involved as best I can with their learning. Until we moved to a new school and a very different idea about how a parent or family connected to the school. I felt I became that parent, the one who caused trouble, kept asking questions. I felt I wasn't wanted, valued, trusted with my child's learning. My name is Georgie, and I have made it my mission, my career, my purpose to bring parents and schools together for the benefit of our children. I am a parent engagement subject matter expert and a facilitator. I will be giving parents the confidence and the tools to help their child through their school journey and develop a love of lifelong learning. How do we do this? We do this through professional development for parents. We all do professional development in our jobs. We do it all the time. We learn about leadership and well-being and about how to use that new machine. If we do it there, why can't we do the same for parents and families? When you educate parents and families, you empower them to understand they have the capability to impact on their child's lives. When they feel empowered, they will be able to grow and elevate as a parent, as a lifelong learner. And they will be able to show their child that they are lifelong learners too. These workshops will help parents and families step up and step out into a world of learning. Parented Plus will provide adult skill development around language, literacy and numeracy, workshops which will target specific year levels in reading, writing and maths for parents, parent leadership development and parent advocacy tools and skills. So parents feel they can ask for help for their child. All this can happen on site in the school setting. Parented Plus is not your regular parenting workshops. While other services focus on how to parent, Parented Plus develops skills for parents which directly relate to engaging with education and learning. If you engage parents and families in their child's learning with targeted skills, outcomes for students at the end of their schooling, they will most likely complete Year 12, go on to higher education, a vet course, or get a job. Parented Plus is looking to create a bright future for all families, and this is our business proposition. When looking at the market potential for Parented Plus, there are lots of schools and lots of children enrolled, so lots of parents and families. The opportunity exists within both the primary and the high school sectors. Education is a growth industry and it does not stop, and Parented Plus will be there with parents and families. Parented Plus offers a range of workshops and packages tailored to parents' needs, either individual standalone workshops or topic packages. The potential first-year growth is approximately $70,000. Workshops and sessions could be funded by individual parents or parent groups within a school, such as governing council. If a school has a collaborative partnership with their parent community, they could assist with bringing Parented Plus into their schools. With Parented Plus, the target group was discovered through a series of validating interviews with parents of primary-aged children and school educators. In the first year, we'll look at junior primary schools R to 3, targeting parents and school partnerships. In the second year, expand and target primary school years 4 to 6, and then moving forward to, went too far, secondary school parents. Parents and families are their child's first educators. Remember, educate, empower, elevate. Parented Plus, professional development for parents and families. We help parents and families step up and step out together. Thank you.
Wow, thanks, Georgie. What, are you okay?
Yeah. I could feel myself shaking, but that's all right.
It was great. And as a parent of 2 kids who I can totally relate to this, going into the education system, and we haven't even hit secondary yet, and I was totally, it was such an alien environment, and I felt very ill-equipped to navigate it. So I really do think it's a wonderful value proposition. I am interested in the delivery model. We didn't spend an awful lot of time on the numbers page, but it kind of felt a little high, and I wondered if that might be a barrier to some families, particularly from lower socioeconomic families, you know, and there's the real need there.
Yep.
And I wonder whether you've explored, and I was also thinking about finding time after school and who's going to look after the kids, and I wondered if you'd explored other ways of delivering the product, other ways of funding it, like, for instance, you know, could the school pay for the program? and offer it as a group program? Have
Yeah.
you thought about online learning,
So,
pre-recording
yeah.
some of the aspects, just to make it a bit more accessible in terms of time and money to families?
So those workshops are for how many the school would say if it was put on at the school, it would be for a group. It wouldn't be per individual person. Sorry.
Okay. Got you.
So looking at how it would be funded is schools could look for grants, they could budget it, or you get parent groups. So there might be a parents and friends that might be willing to pay for it as part of their school community program. It could be from a governing council point of view, they could put from school budgets. Like having been on currently I'm a governing council chair, there's money in the budget at schools. So they could access that money there. It's not a per person basis. It's a group thing. So to make it more accessible, no, I was trying to look at that because that's the people that I want to target as well. Is those areas where it's either no cost or extremely low cost.
Yeah.
And there's currently a grant within the education department called a Parents in Education grant,
Great.
and schools could actually apply for that on behalf of a parent group, so they could bring in a particular, a workshop that I would produce.
Yeah. So in this case, your customer would be the school.
School, and I want it to come as a collaborative thing that it's. Parents could ask for it, or a school could say, this is what we're providing.
Yeah. It's a great
And that's
initiative.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
I have two quick questions. I won't ramble as much as I have in the other ones. I totally see this across a number of different school areas, but I think on that lower socioeconomic space. And I actually wonder if there is another client group in there, being councils, where there might be schools that actually are so big and so overwhelmed with the amount of things that are going on, this is not a priority, whereas a council group or a community group would actually sponsor that and then actually run it at a community level.
Yeah, absolutely.
Particularly for where there might be cultural groups as well.
Absolutely.
Where the cultural associations might say, actually, we're going to run it.
Yep.
So I actually just suggest that might be another target.
Absolutely, 100%. So it would be from a parent and family engagement sort of sector, you would be looking at all these other different ways, seeing the bigger picture. My dream is, seeing a school as a community hub, and then you'll have all these outside groups that can contribute to that. That's why I got things like conversational English, maybe sessions as well. And then you're bringing people that might not be my wheelhouse, so to speak, but I might bring in someone like Layla and all that sort of stuff into that, who've got that's their subject matter expert, who has the potential to deliver that content. And I've got friends that work and in-laws that work in the education department who deliver already to English as a second language. So they've got that skill set. Mine's more into, them reading, writing, numeracy, maths part of it, like parts of it. So, yeah.
Great. And the other quick question, which I should have asked every person, what is one of the biggest takeaways you're taking away from being part of the Venture Dorm program?
What I've taken away, it's just been connected to other people and hearing other people's ideas, and everyone's been so incredibly supportive. And normally I'll be quite nervous sometimes coming up and putting forward my ideas. I'm nearly 50 and I've never put myself into this position before, and it's an incredible step forward for me to be able to do this. It's been incredibly safe to be able to put forward my ideas, and people actually appreciating that I've got potential there. And I think just even being, and I think you guys as well, being able to put this forward and knowing that whatever comes back, I can take that feedback. Whereas maybe in the past, I'm like, I've never put myself forward. And I think we've all had the opportunity to be able to put ourselves forward. So thank you.
Oh, well done. Fantastic.
Yeah, actually, no questions from me. Just adding on to what you were just saying then, which is, and for everyone here, you know, I think a lot of people think of entrepreneurship and setting up businesses as having some amazing light bulb idea, but it's much more about putting yourself out there and getting things actually done. Because you talk to a million people, they're like, "Oh, I had that great idea," and they didn't do anything with it. It's who actually goes out and does it.
Because I thought I was competing and about other people, and why would people want to listen to me? I'm just an almost 50-year-old woman with 2 kids, and who wants to listen to me bring this forward? For every person I've spoken to, especially mums or parents or families, they go, yeah, that's really cool. There's lots of parenting places out there, lots of people to do with parenting and behaviours and difficulties and whatever, but this actually looking at specifics and how you can actually help and what that language is, absolutely, 100%.
Georgie, well done.
Yeah, thank you.
Cheers.
We have saved the best for last.
Yeah.
We have Justin Mercado. I want you to make him feel very welcome. He's going to present to you overlap, but he's going to tell you a little bit more after your round of applause. Justin.
Thanks, Aaron. Okay, so yeah, I'm Justin Mercado, and this is my concept for an application called overlap. So, I need the button thing. What's the next? That one? All right, cool. All right, so I'm just going to start with the problem, and then I'm going to be talking about the application that solves the problem, and then how it's going to make money. So basically, the problem is music listeners do not have a cross-compatible platform where they can share, compare, and listen to live music with others from anywhere. So if you've ever been in the car with someone and you've had to choose, one of you plays a song from your library, and then someone says skip because they don't like it, and next thing you know, you're skipping songs, trying to find ones you like, and it's a terrible experience. Basically, overlap solves that problem and many others. So overlap's the media player built for the shared listening experience, basically. I'll go over to the features and just explain them. So number one, you can view each other's libraries and compare your overlap. So you can take person A's library and person B. Your overlap is all the songs you have in common. So this concept is like literally the best thing to play when you're spending time with someone. Next thing, you can do listening parties. So you can start listening and you can invite others to listen with you. So this will be useful if you're together and you're wearing headphones, so you're in like a quiet environment or in the gym or you're on a bike ride, something like that, and you want to listen to the same music. Otherwise, they could be on the other side of the planet and you could just want a way to feel connected, basically. It's cross-compatible, so it works with both Apple Music and Spotify, bridging the connection between the 2 platforms. There's no reason why it can't be set up to work with other streaming services like YouTube Music down the track, but it's just more money and that sort of thing. Sharing options, so you can choose what songs you do share with someone. Maybe you have some private songs, or like you don't want to share your whole library. You get to choose what you share. Happiness is only real when shared. So as humans, we love to share things. Basically, overlap's built for that to complement that exact experience in the form of music. So the market size, Spotify does have a few sharing features. So if you are a Spotify user and they're a Spotify user too, there are some features. Apple Music don't really have anything, and if you want to connect with someone on the other platform, then you're hopeless. So yeah, there's plenty of people out there that would love to use it, and yeah, the market size is huge. So this is the business model. Basically, you've got the search tab on the far left. Everyone goes to this tab to search things, whether you're searching accounts or songs and whatnot, and this acts as a good place to put ads. It's not the ideal way to do it. I'll go to my next slide after, but this is just a cheap and easy way to do it. So on average, 0.5% of people roughly click these ads, and they're worth 63 cents per click. So that's a way of the business to generate easy revenue when a lot of users are using it. The better way, so this requires a lot more money and a lot more users to actually work, but this is having featured artists on the actual search panel. So that way when they click on them, they're not taken to another website or something like that. They start listening to their new album or their songs. And yeah, it acts as a great ad space to sell to artists. So that's the ideal way to do it. And yeah, that's the business model basically. So thanks for listening. That was Overlap.
Well done,
Thanks so much, Justin. How much do you think it's going to cost to get this off the ground?
Probably, including with the marketing, probably close to 150,000 in terms of developing and marketing. Yeah.
Great. And do you think it'd be a free app or
yes,
you'd
yeah,
charge for the
absolutely.
app?
It's got to be free. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, it's crucial.
Great. Thank you.
That's such an exciting concept. I really, really like that. How far along is the concept in development?
It's literally just a concept. So I've got some background in coding, that sort of thing, but to actually implement Apple Music and Spotify is something that's way out of my skill set. So I have been in touch with a developer and they gave me ballpark figures of 90K to 120K to develop it. But yeah, I think once it is developed, marketing is going to be the big one.
So what's your next step in terms of the development? Because I know it could probably seem like quite an overwhelming proposition to get the whole thing. What feels like the next most important thing to do?
I guess getting it developed, really. That's all it is. Once it's developed, it can start being rolled out. But I guess another thing that could be done before now and then is doing a survey, like doing large-scale surveys to make sure this is something they'd use, and whether those survey results are true and that sort of thing would have to be another point of concern. But yeah, I'd love to have it developed.
Yeah. So what would be your first step to getting it developed, do you think?
Raising funds.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool. It's a great concept. Thanks, Justin.
Thank you.
Yeah, well done, Justin. Fantastic concept. I would download it now if I could. Have you thought also, Justin, obviously you're talking about it from a music point of view, have you thought also about how that could be expanded further from music? So, you know, looking at comparing different streaming services where people are, you know, let's watch a movie tonight.
Yeah.
And yeah, have you actually thought more broadly than just music?
Oh yeah, you could have like tons of different things to find out your mutual interests. But the music was the one that stood out to me because it's a problem I have faced a lot of the time with my roommates and that sort of thing. But yeah, music's one of them things you're just really connected to, and you feel like you own the song when you like listen to it. So when you find out someone else has it, it's just like a really cool feeling. So yeah, that's why it's a good place to start. But yeah, there's tons of things you could do with it.
Knowing that Apple is pretty protective. Knowing that Apple is pretty protective of sharing anything.
Yeah.
What have you thought through in some of the resolutions of the challenges of actually getting Apple to be compatible with something like Overlap?
Yeah, that's a good question. There are some apps that do already give access to, like you have to give your access to the library. So basically, Apple, I see it as like they're the service. Anything that wants to use the service is just up to the user. So as a tool or like a utility or a streaming player, it should pretty much have full access to the library.
Fantastic. And the final question, what are your takeaways from being part of Venture Dorm? Where have you seen where you started to where you are now? What's one of your biggest takeaways?
I've got connected to so many wonderful people. That's always a good thing. And just like the experience is really fun. And I'm only like 23, so this is like pretty exciting. And yeah, I've gotten a job out of it as well. That's good.
Love to hear those ones. That's great. Well done, Justin. Fantastic
so much.
concept and fantastic.
And that's done. So what's going to happen next is these three judges are going to go into a private room, the green room, where there is alcohol and all kinds of goodies. And you poor folk need to just go out there into the foyer and have some snacks. Is there any alcohol for them? There is alcohol for you as well. So it's going to take maximum 30 minutes. We know how they like to talk and go over time. I'm not going to let them go over time because this is going to get to 9 o'clock and everyone wants to go home. They've got 30 minutes to make a decision of what, who they think are winners and what some of the prizes should be given out. We'll come back in here in half an hour's time on the dot. Is that right, Kat? And then we will announce the winners, graduate you, and then you can go home or just... or you can continue to network. And if you are online, what's going to happen is they're going to set you up with a virtual screen that's sitting here so you can network with them for the next half an hour while they're doing their thing.
All right.
I'll just try.
sorry. No, sorry. No, it's okay. Yeah.
Said, oh, you know.
I've got, yeah.
Raph is in there. We can message him if something.
Yeah, just message me. That's fine. Yeah, so, you know, I've got my jazz music, got my wine. No, it's not recording.
I could bring some over.
No, it's okay. I think this is recording, so I have to be careful what I say.
live stream still?
Just 3, but it's the people that are on the teams, it doesn't work really well.
Oh, so they're just listening through the
They just
mic,
listen
yeah.
to the YouTube,
Okay.
yeah. Sir? Is Bert another call?
Yeah, he's turned off now, so just call him on Teams.
Oh, like.
Yeah.
Wait, so you want me to leave this and call him directly? Yep. Yep, he's on.
Bert, could you say something for us? Bert, could you say something for us, please?
Sorry, it's very difficult to hear. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. That's all I need. Thank you.
Yes.
What's going to happen next is I'm going to call you up one by one, participant one by one, and we're going to confer the graduation of Venture Dorm for over the 8 weeks that you've gone through. What I'm going to do is once I call your name up, just come up. Verity will, we're going to elbows or fist bumps or foot. Either way, COVID safe. Congratulations with Verity. Going to get a photo taken by our lovely photographer. I'm just buying myself time. There's also some books you're going to get, but we don't know how we're going to do that just yet. But you will get a free book as well. Once that has happened, I'll get everyone to come back down, and then we'll get a big group photo with everyone, including the judges. Then I'll get you to sit back down. Once you've sat back down, Tyson is going to go through 3, 2, 1 of the placings, and he's going to give you some justification of why the judging panel gave you that, and then we're going to finish as well. Why? I'm just trying to watch Bert. And then we're going to get out of here and have some networking until 9 o'clock, and then you've got to go home. So you might only have 5 minutes of networking, refreshments, and snacks. That is the plan. Without further ado, I'd like to call up Rainu Abraham to front of stage. Mr. Peng Su. Nikki Spiro. The other Nikki Salono. One half of the duo, Matthew Pearson. The other half of the duo, Joel Albrightson. Well done. Layla Raslam. Justin Mercado, welcome. Well done. Georgie Warren. Julie Harper. Mr. Nick Mules. Welcome, Nick. Come on down. I'm going to read through these really quickly because they're not here. Mr. David Dickinson could not make it. Sam McIntyre could not make it. Andrew McClelland could not make it, but we do have...
Online, we kept him online.
Oh, is Andrew here online?
Yes, he is, yes.
You're going to represent Andrew.
Andrew.
Woo! And of course, Varushka Klingowski.
Oh, good idea.
Hermione. And one more, Hermione. Hermione Wangazono. She's on YouTube.
Oh, yeah, she is too. That's right, she's up here somewhere. For those who are interstate, you also get... So those who are online and interstate, we will be sending your certificates and your book. For those who want to know, the book it's called Loon Shots. It's to nurture the crazy ideas that win wars, cure diseases and transform industries, which we believe every single one of you who've been doing Venture Dorm will be doing. All right, I'm going to pass back to... Oh, a group photo. Everyone down for a group photo?
Yeah. Everyone come down for a group photo. Tall people at the back, short people at the front.
Oh, Bert's in it too, that's perfect. Well done. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you.
You made it finally 8 weeks ago. I'm not sure if you would have thought you would have got to this point, but you did. And I think you did all amazingly well. And kind of when bands come to Adelaide, they're like, Adelaide, you're the best crowd ever. And then they go to Perth and like, Perth, you're the best crowd ever. You're actually pretty good. So don't think I'm just blowing it off like a band would say when they come to Adelaide. I'm going to hand it over to Bert now. And Bert's going to give some of his thoughts because he was the main facilitator through this entire process. Bert, take it away. We can definitely hear you.
Thank you. Well done. Thank you, Oren. Ooh, big echo. Good now?
Yep.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes? Okay, good. Yes, thank you, everyone. Again, like Verity said already, it is frustrating not to be there, not to be with you and finish off this wonderful 8 weeks that we had together. I believe you're now part of the Venture Dorm family, like so many hundreds of startups that have come before you since, I think Orange started in 2014 doing this, and myself, I started in 2017. And we are part of that big family of Venture Dormers. Hundreds and hundreds of startups have come through the program, from here to Byron Bay, to the Barossa Valley, and to in the south into the coast, the limestone coast. So people all over South Australia and even Australia have gone through this program, and you all know what the Pixar story means, what beak of the duck means, for example, right? You don't need to explain that anymore to anybody here in this room, and that is, I think, is something that makes us special. You learn some skills, you learn something about startups and about starting a venture that other people don't have. I think that sets us apart as Venture Dorm, that we try to teach you to become better jockeys, as Oren says, and not just better horses. Yeah. So we'd like you to become better founders, better innovators, better social enterprise runners, or whatever you would like to do with your knowledge that you've learned and the skills that you've learned. But something like this doesn't happen overnight, obviously. Yeah. So there's a lot of people involved, and I would really love a big applause for the people who made this happen. Like, for example, Katrina Lee, can you come forward and have a massive applause for her? Because without you, this would not have happened. The same for Angela as well. Angela is entering the room, I don't think so, but anyway, otherwise, massive applause for Angela as well. Obviously, Raf is standing there already. He knew he was going to be thanked. Well done, Raf. And even Alessandro as well. Thank you so much for supporting what we've done and for making this happen. And I want to also thank Oren for coming in week 4, I think it was, and doing a wonderful job tonight. So thank you so much, Oren. And I think together we try to give our best to help you move forward and make progress as a startup. And last but not least, I want to thank the panel. Thank you so much, Emily and Tyson, and last but not least, Verity. Thank you so much for making this happen, Verity, for having the leadership to not let Venture Dorm sink, but keep it alive and make it happen, and keep it going. As you said before, lots of people think this is the most wonderful program that is around in Adelaide, and I agree with them. And we hope to be able to grow this further. So without further ado, I think we're already over time. I'd love to, would love to be there, but I cannot be. But as soon as this horrible virus is over, I'm going to be there and meet you all, hopefully very, very soon. Thank you so much. Over to you, Oren, and I think it's Verity to call the final 3, yes?
No, you forgot one person. While we're drinking our own Kool-Aid, let's put our hands together for Bert. And instead of Verity, Tyson is going to come up here and he's going to go through 3, 2, 1. I've got a mic.
I'm set up. Yeah. No, sorry to disappoint not being Verity, but yeah, I think first of all, thank you so much for having us here. It's always so exciting to see the ideas that you guys have and the positivity and energy you're putting into these, and it's incredible to see how far these are developed. I think my experience. I also run a VC that invests in a whole bunch of different businesses, and I see a lot of these. And this was a really impressive cohort and made it really hard to judge. I think also it's great you guys being in Adelaide. I moved here 18 months ago. Really, could have chosen anywhere in the world, and I think that the combination of, the support you've got here with programs like this from Flinders, the innovation districts like Tonsley, and seeing the success stories and other people's experience to keep you going, and the government and community support around these. It's a great place to be starting a business, and something that I'm really excited about. I think overall the presentations were all really, really good, and much to Oren's dismay, it meant we spent a lot of time judging. It was really hard to decide based on a whole variety of reasons. The different types of businesses, the impact it has on people or on the bottom line, or in some cases both. The size and scale. But in all of them, I think what was common was you guys had a real passion for what you were trying to do. I think I'll move straight to the main event and work backwards through it. In third place, we decided to award Hermione third place. She did a fantastic job, and feel free to clap. Yeah. Hermione, you did a great job articulating, I think, what is a very real problem, a commercial solution to that. And I think the idea of being able to both improve people's lives and make a profit doing it is very, very on trend. So yeah, we want to say congratulations. In second place, we awarded that to Matt and Joel. I think the articulation of your vision, I think a lot of us would have experienced the problems you guys are looking at helping. I think the financial impact and the size of that market in Australia alone is huge. And we think you guys have got a big problem ahead of you to try and solve and build. But I think the opportunity's big enough to encourage you guys to get stuck into it and get going. Congratulations. And in first place, drum roll please, is Julie Harper. So, Julie, it was a come up the front. It was fantastic to see your vision for improving kids' lives, and what was most impressive to see how far you had gone in actually making that happen. And it's one of those things that, as I said before, entrepreneurship can seem like having that one brilliant idea like a Steve Jobs or a Bill Gates or something like that, but really 90% of these really successful businesses that change people's lives are from the people who actually get out there and get it done, and that's what you were doing, so congratulations.
I'd like to say a big thank you firstly to Bert. He's been an amazing facilitator through this whole process. It really has transformed my way of thinking over the last 8 weeks. And to Oren as well, thank you for your feedback. It's really made such a difference. I wish that I'd been in the classroom a lot more. I would have met and spent time with you all a lot more in the last few weeks too, and I only got in last week. I'd like to thank Kat and the production staff for actually putting this whole thing together as well, and she's been great. I really feel passionate about helping kids learn to read and write well. It certainly touches my heart, and I can see how kids struggle, and I'd really, really hope that this app can make a difference. I believe it can make a difference to kids around the world, even starting with Australia, starting with South Australia. So thank you so much.
And just to reiterate the prizes for... Oh, yeah. So, Hermione, you get to work with Ellen, where's Ellen? Oh, Ellen's on a marketing strategy, which is really great. Joel and Matt, you get to spend some time with Emily on brand. And Julia, you get to have lunch with the South Australian chief entrepreneur, who is looking forward to sitting down and having a chat with you about your idea and working with you on that. So please join me in congratulating our winners.
We've got yours here. Over to me. Well done. Congratulations. For the other 6 that did not make it up here as first, second or third, I would like to let you know that this is just 3 people's opinions. The only people's opinions that actually matter are your users and your customers. So choose yourself and go out there and make things happen. And grab a drink and a bite to eat and network until 9 o'clock. Thanks so much.
I was going to do one last thing. I'm really taking over this speaking thing tonight, aren't I? Sorry. I actually want to particularly thank Emily and Tyson for coming on board and judging and being part of tonight. You do this out of your own time. This is a voluntary process, and the conversations we had in the panel have been invaluable for me, but I know there will be more contacts with a number of the participants who have presented tonight and some further connections that will come about because of your presentations. So Emily and Tyson, thank you so much for giving your time and your valuable contributions and your insights to our participants. Please join me in thanking them. And now we do get to just, you can relax, you can breathe. Feel free, please do come up and speak to Tyson, Emily and myself if you want any other feedback. And plus there's a few of you we're looking to contact as well. So, well done, congratulations. Can I add my thanks to for Bert in his leadership with facilitating the program, for Oren, and particularly Kat, who really is the groundwork for getting this all happening. So thank you so much, Kat. And thank you for joining us tonight.